Hi everybody. Today we're talking about quantifiers. And you might ask, what are quantifiers? Well, they're just words that tell us a quantity or amount of something. But usually when we use quantifiers, we're not talking about a specific amount. So instead of saying, do you have 3 pencils? You might ask someone, do you have any pencils? And that word that we replaced 3 with, any, is a quantifier. So we're going to be looking at the sentences on the left over here, and we're going to be answering the questions over here. We're going to look at the sentences on the right and answer the questions on the left. So the first one asks us to look at the sentence and decide if it's positive, negative, or a question. Since we have isn't, and this part right here is short for not, that's a negative. Clearly this one has got a question mark, so that's a question. Then we've got, there are many animals, positive, question mark, question. Here we have isn't again, so that's a negative, a question, and then positive, positive. Now this one's got 2, right? It has a positive sentence here, but it also has a question down here. We're going to put question for right now. And this one is positive. Now, the reason that we asked you to do that is going to become obvious when we get down and begin to look at the rules. So even though we've finished these sentences right here, we're not done with them, okay? So we'll need to refer back to these. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to identify the quantifiers. And we've got a list up here: much, many, some, a little, a few, a lot, etc. Much, much. And look, so there's a negative sentence and a question, and they both use much. We've got many, and that's a positive and a question. Any, and that is a negative and a question. Some, okay. That is, what are those, 2 positive sentences? Got a little and some, and a few. Okay. Now, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to begin to pull all of this together. Okay, because depending on whether or not the sentence is positive, negative, or a question, and depending on what it modifies, okay, because the quantifier has to work with a quantity of something, right? A noun, so a person, place, thing, or idea. And so we've got a couple different types of nouns here. A singular noun, a teacher, an apple. A regular plural noun, right? Those are the ones where you just add s or es to. Irregular plural nouns take different forms. And finally, uncountable or non-count nouns. You can't count them, right? So for example, you can't have 6 waters. You can have 6 bottles of water, okay? But that's different. So let's go down here. We've got money, first of all. What is money? You can't have 6 monies. Water, also uncountable. Animals, if it's got an S on the end, it's a regular plural noun. Milk, uncountable. Tickets, it's got an S on the end. Information, though, you can't have many information. And children, the plural of child. Okay. Now, so the last part was for you to take all that information and create your own rules with it. Okay. So we'll go up here with much. Much is only used with what? Uncountable nouns. Okay. Usually in questions and negative sentences. So many then, if much is used with uncountable nouns, many is used with countable plural nouns. And I think the other thing that we're looking for here is regular. Since if it's a plural noun, it's already countable. With questions, negative, and positive sentences. Some is used with plural countable nouns and some information, uncountable nouns, and can be used in questions. Let's see, there's no examples of a negative sentence, but it can be. And any is used with singular and plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns, but is mainly used in questions and negative sentences. Okay. A little is used with uncountable nouns, and a few is used with countable nouns. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. Please go on to the practice, check your answers when you're done, and ask your teacher if you have any questions.